My boss looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You'll just have to try harder next year." That was after I'd spent 100 days away from my family, made the company millions, and got them a patent. A month later, someone on my team, someone I trained, got promoted instead of me. So yeah, I decided if loyalty didn't pay, maybe revenge would. And oh, it paid. Big time. If you've ever given your all for a company that treated you like you were disposable, hit that like button, because this story is for every single one of us who's been underpaid, undervalued, and underestimated. Grab a snack, because this revenge, it's slow burn perfection. Early in my career, I was an engineer at a big-name defense contractor. You know the type: endless meetings, strict hierarchy, and raises that barely beat inflation. I was good at my job, but the promotions crawled by slower than a Monday morning meeting. After 4 years, I realized I'd hit the ceiling. My 2 to 4% raises felt like crumbs, and I knew that if I stayed, I'd spend the next decade watching other people climb while I stagnated. So I made a move. I pitched myself for a project engineer role, a chance to prove I could handle management. They gave me a team, 4 engineers, a designer, and 2 admins. It was my shot to finally show what I was capable of. What followed was brutal but exhilarating. We designed and manufactured a new defense system that brought in over $1.6 million in sales in just the first year. Our project got the company a patent, and even earned us a nomination from the U.S. Air Force as finalists for Department of Defense Contractor Technical Team of the Year. It was a huge deal. They flew us to D.C. for an award ceremony. I should have been proud, right? But behind that polished smile was exhaustion. I'd spent nearly 100 days that year away from home, away from my family. I missed birthdays, school plays, everything. My suitcase barely had time to cool before I was packing again. Still, I told myself it would all be worth it. Hard work pays off, right? Right? Then came performance review season. When I opened mine, it said 10 out of 10. Perfect score. I grinned like a fool. This was it, the payoff for every late night, every missed dinner. Until I found out one of my own team members, a great guy, but someone I managed, had just been promoted early to a senior position. And me, I got the same standard 3% raise as everyone else. I remember the moment that realization hit. Like a punch to the chest. My stomach turned, my jaw clenched. I went to my boss, trying to stay calm. Me, I'm confused. My review was perfect, my team crushed it, and we brought in over $1 million. Why was I skipped over for promotion? Boss, shrugging. Well, I didn't think your team member really deserved a promotion either, but that was another manager's decision. Look, just keep working hard, and we'll see next year. Next year. Those 2 words broke something in me. It wasn't just about the money. It was about respect. I'd poured everything I had into that project, and they dismissed it like it was nothing. So I stopped killing myself for them. No more 70-hour weeks. No more business trips unless absolutely necessary. I clocked in at 9, clocked out at 5, and reclaimed my life. I used every vacation day, every sick day, every long weekend I could, and you know what? My mental health soared. For the first time in years, I felt like I could breathe, but I wasn't lazy. Far from it. I decided if they weren't going to invest in me, I would. The company had an education budget that hardly anyone touched, so I started taking advantage of it. Funny enough, my promoted coworker, the same one who'd been bumped ahead of me, had also started taking MBA evening classes through the company. I liked him, honestly. He was smart, hardworking, and not the problem. He just benefited from a system that rewarded politics over performance. His MBA came with strings attached, a multi-year obligation to stay with the company afterward. But I noticed something. The technical training budget didn't come with those same restrictions. So I signed up for advanced courses, finite element analysis, 3D modeling, specialized design software, all on the company's dime. They sent us all over for these trainings. My co-worker and I even traveled together, both thinking we were building our resumes. Only I had a very different plan, because while he was locking himself into that job for years, I was quietly building my escape route. A few weeks after the courses ended, I started applying for new positions. I tailored my resume to highlight every one of those newly learned skills, the ones they had paid to teach me. It didn't take long. Recruiters started calling. One interview turned into another, and before I knew it, I had an offer from a competitor. The salary? Double my current base pay, and it included overtime. When I calculated it, I realized I'd be making almost 3 times what I currently earn once OT kicked in. I remember staring at that number on the offer letter and feeling this mix of disbelief and vindication. This was my moment. When I handed in my 2-week notice, my boss's face was priceless. First came confusion, then panic, then anger. "Boss, wait, what? You're leaving? We just invested all that money sending you to trainings." Me, calmly, "Yeah, I learned a lot. Thank you for that, by the way." "Boss, you can't just leave. Don't you feel any loyalty or guilt?" Me, "I gave you loyalty for 4 years. What did it get me?" "Boss, okay, let's talk numbers. How much are they paying you? Maybe we can match it." Me, smiling, "You'd have to double my salary." Pause. "Boss, that's more than I make." Me, "Exactly." He just sat there, stunned, speechless, probably realizing that the system he defended had just cost him one of his best engineers. My first year at the new job was like stepping into a new world. Not only did they value my skills, but they paid me for them, overtime and all. I was finally being compensated for what I was actually worth. Every time I checked my bank account, it felt like poetic justice. I didn't have to sabotage anyone or burn bridges. I just played their own game, smarter. Meanwhile, word got around that my old department was struggling to fill my position. Apparently, management was scrambling, realizing too late that maybe, just maybe, they'd undervalued the wrong person. Looking back, I don't even see it as revenge, not the petty kind. Anyway, it was karma. I learned that loyalty to a company should never outweigh loyalty to yourself. Because the truth is, corporations don't feel guilt or gratitude, only results. And when they finally saw mine walking out the door, suddenly, they understood what I was worth. Too bad it took losing me to learn it. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and drop a comment. What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen at work? And if you want more true stories where karma hits back harder than HR ever could, hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss the next one.